Posted by you/cute_quarter_9399. My sister is turning into the biggest bridezilla. And I can't stop laughing. So, a little background. I am the second youngest of 5 kids. My older siblings are 2 brothers and 1 older sister, who we'll call E for the purposes of this post. E and I have a 5-year age gap. As a result, we never really had that sisterly bond you would expect most sisters have. Growing up, I was always a burden to her, and any time it was my turn to pick the family movie, or really anything, she would get upset. The reason being that she had control issues as early as 9. So, I'm guessing you can already see where I'm going with this. I'm currently 18, about to turn 19, woohoo, and E turned 24 earlier this year. Her BF proposed to her at a family beach day earlier in June of this year. It was one of those big white letters and rose petals proposals which he set up before my family arrived. She was thrilled, said yes, and my parents were very happy along with my older siblings. The youngest is 4, so I don't think she understood what was happening. Now here's the drama. Since the proposal, she has gone into full bridezilla mode. At the behest of my mom, E made me a bridesmaid. So, I'm roped into all the BS so far. These are the demands my dear sister has made. 1. All bridesmaids are to pay for their own dress, a $300 dress. In blush pink, shoes, hair, and makeup. 2. All bridesmaids need to attend all wedding and bachelorette events, including A. The bachelorette spa day $800 each. B. The bachelorette vacation weekend to Toronto and stay at the Fairmont Hotel $1,000 weekend just for hotel. C. The dress appointments, even if just for bride, all alterations covered by the person themselves. $300 dress plus approximately $300 alterations, etc. D. All things to do with wedding, cake, venue, catering, etc. they need to attend. The cake and food tasting, they all need to pay $25. E. The guests, and the bridal/groom party need to pay $150 to reserve their spots. And gifts have to be either cash, check, or from the list of registry items. She has a spreadsheet of what everyone is gifting, and has said she will return items that aren't from her registry/match her theme. My mom says it's bride anxiety. I say it's just my sister trying to control everything because she wants a December wedding on a ski hill. Blay. Anyways, I figure if people are interested, I could update periodically on what happens. Thanks for reading. ETA, I realized I didn't include the controlling parts. My bad. Here they are. 1. All bridesmaids need to go to hair and skin appointments every 6 weeks to ensure our hair and skin is flawless for pictures. It's out of pocket too. 2. Anyone with tattoos needs to cover them. Our dresses will do that. They go to the neck, ankles, and wrists. The bride wants to be the only one sleeveless/showing her tattoos and colorful hairstyle. Either we need to get our hair dyed to a natural color, or wear a wig at our expense. 3. The dresses only come in sizes 00 to 10, pretty good range for most. But those who don't fit are expected to try to lose weight. I'm a size 12, and already my sister is calling me fat. She sent me a keto diet book through Amazon. 4. No one, vendors, are to communicate directly to the bride/groom. It has to go through us first. She made a Gmail with last name wedding which we all have access to, and we aren't supposed to ask her if something is okay. We should just know. This is the part that stresses mom out. 5. We need to remind the guests that they need to pay a deposit of $150 to save their spot, and if we don't get it, they don't come. We also need them to confirm what they'll purchase from the registry or the dollar amount they'll give. Now on to some comments before the rest of the edits and update. Posted by West Coast 7654. Bridezilla or not, she sure is selfish. These costs are being expectations. I'd let your mom know that you need some money, or you'd love to be a guest. Mother of Sons responded with, even guests have to pay $150. Not going to be anyone at this wedding and it will be glorious. OP responded with, I can't, sister says it's my duty as her sister, and mom is trying to keep the peace. Zumi responded with, yeah, fuck all this noise. You didn't ask to be bridesmaid and you didn't ask to pay all that money. Fuck the Fairmont girl, come stay at my place in Toronto, I got you. Seriously though, there's so many hotels in Toronto that are really nice and way cheaper. The Chelsea is nice and really affordable. Maybe you can split on a room with someone else. Posted by Marble Free. Please drop out as a bridesmaid. Your mom can just say she can't control you. Lol. Tell your sister you love her, but due to commitments for school and finances you won't be able to make her wedding the priority it deserves, say without laughing. OP responded with, "That's gonna be hard. I stress laugh." Posted by Twoo Forever. Tell your mom and sister that you won't participate until someone pays all of your costs. Your mom should not try to keep the peace when your sister is a raging harpy. I hope her fiancé backs out. OP responded with, "He won't. He loves her spice, he's a very calm man though. So, they match really well. He's the only one who can calm her down." Posted by Ramona_Q. Realistically, what are the consequences if you just happen to not show up at the spa day or the vacation weekend? If you don't have the money, you don't have it. Regardless of whether your family is telling you that you need to find the money somehow. Honestly, I'd like to know more about this. The guests, and the bridal/groom party need to pay $150 to reserve their spots. The guests have to pay to attend the wedding? On top of any gift/travel arrangements? OP responded with, "I get banned. The spa day is in 3 weeks, so I won't have to worry about midterms etc. but the weekend in Toronto is the week of my uni exams." And yes, they have too. She's marrying an Italian guy. It's apparently normal for this to happen. Posted by They Stole My Kidney. My only advice is that if financially it's going to be a burden to you, be honest with her that it's not something that you can do. You can ask your parents for help? I personally could not afford a $300 dress that I would wear one time. OP responded with, "I have. She said it's my responsibility as her sister to save up and be a participant. Mom and dad are paying for her wedding, so they can't give me the $2,000 plus to cover my expenses." Pundapishober responded with, "I could afford the dress but certainly wouldn't buy it. It's ridiculously entitled." Posted by Ashamed Mountain 7127. I noticed your edits and just wanted to say you might want to work on the bank account thing before showing your mother the posts/comments. Your parents don't seem quite as terrible as your sister, but people sometimes respond in really weird ways to being criticized, especially about their parenting. The easiest way to get a parent off your bank account is to simply open a new one without her and transfer out most of the money. It's pretty quick and easy. Getting a copy of your own birth certificate is just bureaucratic work that can be done anytime by contacting state/provincial government, so really no urgency there. R84th responded with, "And make the second account at a different bank. Preferably one they don't use for anything if you can. And ask them to add a note to your account that no one from your family can ask about the account. It should already be that way, but some bank employees don't care or something." Posted by Lindy Lowe. This is insane. I completely agree with you, Op. OP responded with, "The problem for me is that I can't afford it without going into debt for my student loans. Interest on student loans right now is 26%, so I'm scared to be in debt." Now on to the rest of the edits. Edit 2, y'all are making me realize my family isn't normal. I'm going to look into therapy with my uni and seeing if I can move into residence earlier. I want to thank the person who private messaged me about getting my mom off my bank account and also get my birth certificate etc. I think I'm going to do that after I talk to the people at the bank. I texted my mom, "I'm at work right now, if her, dad, and I can talk about it while sister is gone to her fiancé's for the night." I'm hoping to show my mom and dad this post to help them understand where I'm coming from. Edit 3, I'm going to take some time away from this alt, just because a lot of you are right. This isn't normal, our relationship as a family is not normal. I called my aunt while I was at work. For those of you who don't know, she's my godmother, and she thinks my mom is nuts, and we talked about it. She's encouraging me to talk to my parents about everything, not only the wedding, but favoritism etc. since childhood, and she's also on standby in case things go to shit. My shift at work finishes in a few more hours, then I'll go home and pack a quick bag of stuff for my aunt to grab before my parents and I talk. Now on to the update. Part 1 to my sister is turning into a bridezilla, and I can't stop laughing. Firstly, I just wanted to apologize for how long this has taken. My parents originally planned to talk that night, but mom said she wasn't feeling good and decided to go to sleep early, around 6 p.m., and that feeling stayed for a while. We then got busy moving my sister into her fiancé's place, and by the time everything settled, my parents forgot we had something to discuss, and kinda brush it off to the side. We finally had the conversation 2 days ago and I needed a day to think and just react to things. So, without further ado, here is the update. As you can expect, the update isn't the best. But not really for the reasons you might think. I don't know if I have a text limit, so apologies if there is a part 2, link below. So, turns out my dad never knew the whole story. He knew he was responsible for paying for my sister's dress and a portion of the wedding or honeymoon. The reason for this is that my parents told me, Dad confirmed with bank records, that my parents had been setting up 25K accounts for myself and each of my siblings. The rule was that these accounts could be used for anything once we turned 19 and went off to post-secondary. It was our money to use. I just turned 19 and my dad was getting ready to sign the money over to me when we had this conversation. Which caused a bit of a blow up, but right now I need to give some background info I was given. Right after sister got engaged, she apparently had a conversation with my mom about how she always felt like the child left out. She's used this line before, so I do believe my mom fell for it and was guilt-tripped. As a result of a very long conversation, my mom figured that she could divert some of the funds from all the kids' accounts to pay for sister's wedding. For those wondering, my 2 older brothers are in the military. They aren't married yet and live on base. They never use their 25K because the Army in Canada pays for your education, housing etc. So, my mom had 50K at her disposal. Then combined with my sister's and my 25K it would have been 100K. Mom figured that because I had 17K saved up, she could just give me my 25K later for a car or a house payment, or wedding, blay. Sister did this because again, she is a master manipulator. Side note, thank you to the wonderful Redditors who sent me to various subreddits for narcissism and support along with those who sent articles on it to me, and possible narcissist. She used some of my mom's mental and physical health conditions against her. When I was born, mom went through very bad PPD, resulting in her leaving to a treatment facility for 4 months. Leaving my sister, 2 brothers, me, and dad behind. My 2 older brothers at the time were 9 and 7 at the time and me, only a few months. Sister for reference was 5 or just shy of 5, I honestly don't care to calculate, since my brothers were trouble. My dad and his brother, my uncle, had his hands full, and a live-in nanny did the stuff for me, so my sister had my aunt, who lived with us at the time, and got little to no attention from dad at an age where attention is important. I think that triggered the bad sides of her to come out. While the nanny did help sister with basics, food, water, bath, clothes, a little play, she wasn't a replacement for mom. Even my aunt wasn't a replacement for mom despite her being there mainly for sister and sleeping in the same bed as her, helping her with homework, having girls' trips etc. When mom came back, sister had a huge grudge, but not to mom, but to me. I was the reason mom left. Which led to her trying to smother me with a pillow. Mom caught her in time and it was a funny story for us as a family. Turns out that's a coping mechanism. Over my childhood, sister has used manipulation to get what she wants, and she did it for the wedding too. Mom felt bad and decided to give her little dove everything she desired. Common things I heard growing up were you always give, me, XYZ. I want this. Proceeds to have a meltdown as sister grew up. It wasn't little toys and candy anymore, but girls' trips. As a result of this, dad and I grew very close. He's my best friend. My sister and I had a decent relationship when I was 12 to 14, but it changed again when mom got pregnant with youngest sister. It was an accident lol, and I became the target again for sister's rage and abuse. While I know it doesn't excuse a lot of things, I figured it would be important to give you all the whole story. Since I forgot some very important details in my last post which I added later. Now on to update part 2. My sister is turning into a bridezilla, and I can't stop laughing. So now with the back info done, here's what happened. A day after sister moved out, I asked my mom and dad to please finally have the convo with me. Mom was feeling better, so we sat down and were talking. I told them how I felt, how much of a financial toll it would be on me, how it wasn't fair etc. Well, dad blew up. He didn't know about the 100K, or the things sisters was doing etc. He didn't like the fact that mom used a lot of your father and I agree talk even though they hadn't. I showed group chat screenshots. We worked through the wedding issue, I don't have to attend, and the 25K for me issue, dad is signing it over early. Then I was asked to go to my room for a bit because dad and mom wanted to talk. They settled the budget issue on their own. Dad then asked why I didn't feel comfortable to talk to them earlier, so I showed them this post. My dad snapped. He immediately called my sister and told her to come here ASAP because he needed to talk to her and would not accept excuses. She said she would be here in 4 hours because she was with fiancé and his parents. Dad pressed, and she hung up and blocked him. Dad told me to go to my room once again, but to leave my phone so they could go over the post and see the comments. I don't know exactly what happened, but mom came to talk to me later. She then told me about the PPD etc. I didn't know about it earlier. We solved our issues, and I finished by asking if sister would go to therapy. Because mom's convinced that the 4-month leave caused this stuff in her, mom said she'd try, but can't force. I told her if sister doesn't go, I'm going NC with her and possibly LC with mom. Dad then joined the convo and assured me I would get my money, and I wouldn't have to go to wedding if I didn't want to. Since sister is charging $150 per guest, she can pay for her grandiose wedding through that. Soon to be Bill and his family aren't paying for shit apparently, so now they have to, or sister doesn't get to have her ski hill wedding. Speaking of the $150 fee, y'all were right. It was sister who concocted the whole thing and told mom it was an Italian thing. We talked to sister's Mill when she dropped sister off. Sister doesn't drive, and Mill was shocked that sister had said that. There is apparently a money dance, but no $150 fee. So, on to what happened when sister came back. She came after 5 hours, and while Mill was there, she was sweet as pie. But when Mill left, oh Lord, the gates to hell broke loose. She demanded why Dad disturbed the peaceful evening and demanded he drive her back. Dad said he didn't care and to sit down. She refused, they fought. Finally, she sat down after Dad started pulling out various tricks. Including money or telling Mill about sister's true nature, which I guess fiancé hasn't seen much of. I was excused to my room again. There was a lot of angry yelling back and forth and a lot of manipulation from sister, including threats of LC/NC or no seeing possible grandkids in the future. She was trying to get mom to go back to original plan, 100K plan, and mom and dad weren't budging. The fighting continued and stopped when my dad yelled saying mom isn't her punching bag and her PPD was not her fault, and if she was that angry about it, go to therapy. After that I was called back down, and we went over all the issues. Starting with the keto book, sister tried to defend saying I was fat and lazy, dad defended me. Sister started to cry, and mom told dad to be a little softer, which he did. We finally discussed everything, and I felt like part of the family instead of like a punching bag. Sister eventually got an Uber and left because she was being attacked. We're going to wait until Christmas time when brothers are back in town so we can all discuss what we need as a family to go forward and be healthy. But it will most likely be therapy or cutting sister out. Mom and dad are still figuring out the full budget issue with my sister's in-laws. My parents told them that for such a wedding to happen everyone would need to contribute. In-laws agreed that $100,000 for a wedding is insane. Last I heard, sister will get her $15K for the wedding, which is basically $5K because $10K dress, since it's already ordered, the other $10K is being held for something tangible, and then her in-laws are being generous and helping with $15K. 10 to wedding, 5 to honeymoon. As for my schooling, Dad and I are going to the bank tomorrow and we're going to pay the cancellation fee for the loan I had to take out. The loan only officially starts when I start school, so thankfully the cancellation fee is very small. My dad is paying for the fee because he admits that I should have never had to take the loan out. My parents agreed that my first year of university along with housing costs will not come out of my budget, the $17K or the $25K, so they will pay themselves. The full amount that they budgeted for me is going to be transferred into something called a TFSA for later in life. Well, mom and I still have a somewhat rocky relationship. Sister absolutely hates me. She blamed me for everything and said that I have caused irreparable damage to her relationship with her fiancé and in-laws. Because of this, she's banned me from the wedding and from her life. I honestly don't care. I don't really see it as losing a sister, I see it as losing a bully. I made a promise to my mom and dad that I would never treat my younger sister like that. I'm going to be the role model she deserves and I'm going to be her protector like my brothers and my father were for me. I think I covered everything that needs to be covered, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm very thankful for the subreddit for teaching me what a real family is about, and for teaching me about boundaries and communication. Have an amazing life, you gorgeous humans.